Hi there, Sai. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thank you, firstly. Thank you very much for your presence and giving me opportunity to interview you for my channels.
Yeah, definitely. I've actually been looking at your work as well, so found it nice because I've been doing a lot of podcasts as well, and this is actually the first time I'm a guest at a different podcast. So yeah,
So I can see you're doing a lot of work on your side. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience.
sure.
So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, definitely. Hey everybody, this is Harshith. Currently based in Hyderabad. Before I was, traveling in Palo Alto, Toronto, and then been in Web3 for a while right now. But now we're actually building our own product, which is an AI product. It's called ARTIFIN. I'm actually the founder of ARTIFIN. We're making finance conversational. All you have to do is put in your financial statements, and then you can converse with your financial statements. So yeah, basically that's about it, I guess. I worked with a couple of projects in Web3 and now building my own product. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So why ARTIFIN?
Yeah, I think the reason why ARTIFIN is, of course, we do want to ride on the AI train, but then we actually find a problem statement where a lot of financial professionals they spend a lot of time in just a lot of grunt work in just doing their financial work. But with ChatGPT, as you can see, after November 2022, the world has kind of changed. So yeah, it's all conversational now. It's all large language models. So we thought, why not have a specific large language model only for the finance industry? And any prompts that you give, any kind of queries that you give, it's just going to give you better answers in form of that. And that's our pain point. That's the kind of pain point we're solving. Specific LLM only for finance professionals.
So how it works?
Yeah, so basically, the dashboard, as you can see, we're still building the dashboard. This is our office space. We have the team working right there as well. So all you have to do is whatever your financial statements are, all you have to do is just drag and drop your financial statements in the dashboard, and you can converse with your financial statements while getting deep insights about anything that you ask. Let's say, for example, what is the EBITDA or what is the debt to equity ratio, and then it's going to give you clear cut answers instead of you doing all the grunt work before, like the way we used to do in the financial world. So yeah.
So is there any specific reason to concentrate on finance related industry?
Yeah, I think firstly, because business analysts and accountants, they do spend a lot of their time in just um, work which can be automated, right? So I think that's one of the reasons we do want to make workflow easier. And one thing about us is we're not just selling software; we're basically selling work. We are selling work in the sense we want to make it super easy, like clutter free for professionals to just work on and then ease out their whole infrastructure where they don't have to do a lot of grunt work. So, yep,
So what are the advantages of it?
advantages in the sense like, what do you mean?
What kind of problems that it is going to solve?
Yes, so basically these are the SaaS problems. Whatever queries you have, whatever queries you've got about financials, you just have to type it in, and then it just gives it to you. It's basically like your own conversational bot where you can talk to your financial statement. So that's what basically it is.
So when you have started this?
It's been around 6 months since we started this.
So how is it?
It's good. I'd say it's good. It's good. It's a little tough to work on a startup, but we have the best team. We hired the best team. We're currently working on it, and I made it in person. So we are a very in-person company. We do not want to have any kind of work from home, and I do not want that. So as a CEO, I want all my team members in the office right here working. So yeah, that's what's happening right now.
So why you wanted to use artificial intelligence to solve finances and finance related problems?
Yeah, one of the reasons would actually be because if you've been noticing the AI wave, right? If you've been noticing the AI wave, it's not going to stop. It's going to become easier for people to work, and AI is something where it can be integrated in any kind of industry, and it can be done so in a very efficient way where it eases out the workflow. So that's one of the reasons we thought the biggest pain point in financials is you don't want to do all the grunt work, just looking at all those papers, those Excel sheets and everything. Just simply just put that in, and then I think it's a very obvious use case which we have seen, a very obvious use case of a large language models. So yeah, it's a given.
So what is your target audience? Is that a small scale or mid-level or large scale companies?
Yeah, our target audience is basically would be firms, would be mid-sized firms, even startups, venture capitalists, hedge funds, who do a lot of financial work and they need to ease out. Yeah, so I think that's our target audience. Yes.
So it matches with the requirements of businesses which are from anywhere on this planet.
That is correct. Anyone who does finances. Yeah.
So what are the things that you think that matches with all the requirements of all the businesses which are all the places in the world?
I don't get that question. So what exactly do you mean?
So you created this for the users specifically for a industry. So how can you say that this is going to help a lot of help or solve a lot of problems of different businesses who are from different countries?
I don't think I'm clear about what you're asking. Like different countries in the sense I don't get you that side.
Because the financial system is different in different countries, right? So how this application can connect with that and able to solve it?
Makes sense, but it isn't different in any country because it's the same. It's the same debit and credit. Accounting standards might be different, but then the debit and credit remains the same. Anywhere you go in the world, it all remains the same. Of course, there are different ways to account. There are different ways of doing it. There are different standards which people follow. There's international standard. There's an Indian standard of doing it. But the debit credit that remains the same, right? So our language model is trained in such a way where it understands all the specific guidelines of whatever in the financial world. So yeah, it's basically a financial brain which would be taking in information and then helping you out with this.
So users can able to connect with it and able to see the statements of their company, right?
Correct.
So what they have done in the previous years and in previous months, and they can analyze and they can see how it's going.
Yeah.
Right. So what mainly that you think that is common for every business?
Yeah, I think common in the sense I'm actually not getting what exactly you're saying, but maybe you can frame it in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So there will be a common thing that that will be helpful for all the businesses which belongs to this industry. So which since you have said it is a 6 months old company, so you might be concentrating on the initial things. So those things that will match with all the companies that you're targeting for. So those things, can you tell about the functionalities?
Sure. Makes sense. I think if you're actually referring to like the finance industry or the insurance industry or the hedge funds, all of that, right? So even like analysis or even accounting firms, on a day-to-day basis, what happens is they have a lot of grunt work, right? They have to do a lot of analysis. They'll have to do, there's a lot of paperwork. They'll have to go through a lot of sheets and all of this. So in this case, where we bring in ARTIFIN, it's basically ARTIFIN also means artificial intelligence and finance. So with these large language models, which are finance driven, they basically are trained in such a way where they understand the finance world, right? So simply, it's basically converse with your financial statements. Simply put, that's what it is. You can basically talk to your financial statements.
So it is useful for startup companies mainly.
Correct. Not just startups. It's for startups, mid-sized firms, and even bigger sized firms as well. For example, like Deloitte or Oracle or Accenture. But The thing with them is they build their own models. So our target customers are the ones who don't want to build their own models, but then they can use ARTIFIN for them.
So is it premium or the
Premium.
service, the service that you're providing is premium or you're charging for it?
Of course, every business charges for anything, right? If it's not, it's a non-profit. Would we be charging for anything? We are charging for it because we are adding the value. We have different packages, of course. There's an enterprise package, there's a normal firm package, there's a small firms. But initially, for the next 2 months, we want to do it all free. Anyone can just use our product because we're actually OpenAI is actually supporting us. OpenAI themselves is supporting us.
And there must be a strong reason for you or a particular experience which made you to solve this kind of a problem. What is that?
I'd say not really. That's the thing. Not really, because I do not come from a finance background. I actually come from a Web3 background. I come from a crypto background, right? So, but then I do understand how to solve problems. I think that's part of it. If you're actually asking if I have some finance background, I don't. But what I do know is to hire the best finance advisors, and we also do have a finance advisor who has like 25 years of experience, and we have all the guidance and everything. But as professionally, I don't come from a finance background myself.
So in this 6 months of experience, what is the user experience?
User experience
of your application.
Right now we're still building it, right? We're actually still building it. I'd say it's in the pre-product stage. We'll be pushing it. We'll be launching it exactly in another 2 weeks. In another 2 weeks, we'll be launching ARTIFIN. And if you guys can actually check it out, it's artifin.ai, ARTIFIN. That's ARTIFIN and .ai. So yeah, the UI, we're still working on it because we don't want to perfect the application and then launch. We're basically launching it. We launched the first version. Now we're launching the second version, and then we just want to keep launching until the main launch happens. And I don't see that anything is perfect. It's just you just have to keep taking feedback, keep taking user feedback, talk to finance professionals, talk to business analysts, and then even these podcasts actually help, right? Because I do get some good feedback from you as well. And some of the questions that you're asking, it's basically, making me think about the product even more, even deeper. It actually helps. So yeah, I'm up for it.
So as a leader, as a founder, as a CEO of your company, so how you are able to match the technology and the financial thing?
Yeah, that's a very good question because there are even bigger companies that they can do that. That is a very good question. The thing is, what I really understood is anybody can do it. All you need is a good tech team, good leadership, good vision. Anybody can do it. So I don't know how much of your audience speaks Telugu, but then KTR has a great speech, where he says, Twitter ఎందుకు బయట ఉంది ట్విట్టర్ ఎందుకు బయట చేస్తారు పెద్ద కంపెనీస్ అన్ని ఎందుకు సిలికాన్ వ్యాలీ చేస్తుంది మనం ఎందుకు చేయలేము రైట్ అదేమన్నా పెద్ద రాకెట్ సైన్సా మనం చేయలేమా of course we can do it right you're doing it you have a camera setup you're leveraging media right I am leveraging media we can do it right what I'm saying is basically Telugu youth taggedele you guys get it it's just anybody can do it. It's the same code. If you think of it, right, it's the same code. It's the same tailwind CSS. It's going to be the same code. Of course, you do require a large amount of funds, which larger companies have. But again, you don't have to target that market, right? You can make your own market, which is basically blue ocean strategy. You can find your own market and you can develop in that, and you'll be finding a lot of consumers, people who want to pay for that product. So it's basically, I'd say anybody can do it. Once you keep doing it, you'll be able to find the right people. And what we're actually doing is building in public. That basically means everything from the first day, it's all on Twitter. It's all on Twitter. You guys can check it out. It's all on Twitter. How I started hiring the team, how I even got to this workspace. We didn't even have a workspace. When I was back in Toronto, I was just doing it in person. I flew all the way back to Hyderabad, and I want to set up my base here, right? I want to do that because I want to provide employment to the youth of Hyderabad. And we got like really smart guys. We got some really smart guys, from engineering colleges. So, we're also providing internships and everything. So, yeah, anybody can do it. It's just competition will always be there, but the best way is not to compete. If you're competing, you're already lost. So find your own market, find your own niche, and find the best problem that you can solve. Yeah.
So, how do you find, you talk with experts, the financial experts, and trying to put those financial aspects on the application. So, is that not challenging? What kind of challenges that you face, and what motivates you to connect these two things, technology and finance thing?
Yeah, I think the most important discrepancy that we face would be people sometimes we have to dumb things down, right? We have to make it super clear. And the more I say, hey, our AI is not hallucinating. Hey, our AI is the best, or something like that. People don't understand that. For your consumers, you just have to know what they need. And I think that is the most important. Just talking to financial professionals it's giving us a lot of these user feedback about how the product can be used and what's the importance of the product. And we had a feature that we wanted to have. And then after talking to a lot of financial professionals, we got to know that they don't even use that feature. So there's no point of having it. So yeah, there's like a bunch of pivots that happen. And I think the most difficult thing, if you're asking me as a startup founder, would be, I think I'd say it's as an Indian household, it will be your parents, right? Because if you're in your 20s, they want you to get married, they want you to, have kids, and samandham untundi. But then you choose, man. You choose what you want to do. If you want to play big, if you want to play in the big leagues, you have to take this path. And the worst part is, what if it doesn't work, right? That always bugs me. What if it doesn't work? Because if you're putting in so many years, all of your friends, they're going to US, they're going to, different places, and then they're just, they're getting married, or they're even working at different companies, they're getting promoted, all of that. You see that on LinkedIn, and then sometimes as a startup founder, you find nothing happening, there's zero happening, and then you feel, what if I chose the wrong thing? But I guess only time will tell. We just have to keep working on it. I think it's that simple.
So you have lived in two different places in the world. So how is that experience, and how that is contributing to your business?
Yeah, I think that's a very important aspect, because just staying in Hyderabad, you see, you think in INR, right? You think in rupees. The more you think in rupees, the poorer your mindset is going to be. That's how it is. Because the more you think in rupees, what happens is you're wired in such a way to just, like a middle class family. You're just wired that way. But then once you go out, once you experience things, then that's when you feel that the dollar value compared to rupees, it's a lot higher. And it's basically, you're doing the same work sitting here in Hyderabad, but then you're being paid more in USD when you're outside. I think that's unfair, honestly. But again, India largely has a proportion of a lot of labor. We have around 1.3 billion population, I believe. You raise funds, but then you get more people here. But then there's the same smart people, right? So I think that was one of the biggest takeaway for me from looking at the world from a bigger lens.
So how do you define this difference when it comes to business?
Defining this, I'd say it is what it is. We can't change it. There's nothing you can do to change it, but you can leverage. You can use this as leverage, right? You can use this as a form of leverage. Like you sitting here, I've seen a few podcasts of yours. You've been talking to some folks who are based, like authors. You're talking to authors and all of that, right? So you're actually getting like international exposure, right? Of course, you're getting like international exposure. which helps you as well. So I think exposure is the most important thing from anywhere, whatever it may be. If you're sitting at your home in a small dorm, or if you're sitting just at, wherever you are, all you need is internet access, man. I think we have it, so use that as leverage.
So you are into artificial intelligence, which is advanced technology that we have today, and we have evolved as a human beings. So what is making you to develop a product or the service based on this tool?
Okay. If you want an honest answer, Sai, it's basically, if I don't replace other people are going to replace me, right? If I don't use AI to replace a business analyst, or I wouldn't say quote unquote replace, but of course, he's in the workforce. But again, if you actually look at it, what AI basically does is, if you need 10 people for something, now you only need around 3, because you're basically using the technology as a leverage. And it happened to me as well, right? It happened to me as well. I got fired once, when I was working and everything. It's also because of, some way like artificial intelligence as well, right? So if I don't build my own thing, someone's going to replace me, and to become a replaceable, I'd say I have to work on something. So that's basically it, man. Super simple answer. Yeah.
So there are two things that are working to create some energy here: intelligence and artificial intelligence in this scenario. So you are using the intelligence of the human beings and creating and working on artificial intelligence. So how you are making this happen? This connectivity.
I'd say there's nothing like that. Basically, I understand you talk about like humans and AI, but of course they do go hand in hand. But simply put, what is AI? What is large language model? It's basically a big data set of words trained in a specific way. And all that ChatGPT does is it gives words one after the other. But knowing what words come next, that is the most important thing that LLM knows. So I'd say it goes hand in hand. It definitely helps out the analysts who are working on it. So, yeah.
So how do you think, what do you think about AI? How it is helping humans?
Helping humans. I'd say as an evolution, we've always been automating. This is nothing new. Newspaper is automation. When paper printing came out, that was automation. When cars came out, that was automation. I'd say automation has always been there, but then the scale at which we are at right now is scary, right? And nobody really knows what's going to happen next, because it's been replacing a lot of creative jobs. It's been replacing a lot of work for developers, and I'd say the wealth gap would also increase. The rich will get way more richer by using AI, and the poorer will stay poorer and even get even more. So as a point of evolution, I'd say you just have to adapt to it. And if you talk about the more you use ChatGPT, the more you know how powerful it is. And that's when we got to know that there's a market for finance professionals where we can solve using the same technology. Everywhere I go, I see so many college students. They have written. I was just talking when I was in Singapore. I actually met with this girl where we were just having a conversation, and then I asked her like, "Have you used ChatGPT?" And then she said, "Oh yeah, it's like an app to write essays and homework." So that's all they think ChatGPT is, which is not. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. And then once we understand the power of large language models and conversational AI, which is basically it. So yeah, conversational AI can be implemented in anything. So one advice to you, Sai, I'd say, of course you're doing amazing podcasts and everything, but I'd say you should also start looking into this and make, something out of it. Find a problem and then solve it with conversational AI. Right? There's a big market for this, and I'd say you should be solving something as well, because I'd say that you got like good skills. So you should find a team, or You should hire a team, or even if there are a few friends, find someone, man. Find someone who can just help you out with that. Or if you want to come to our office space, just come, man. You're free to come here. You can also check out what we're doing. So I'd say solve something, Sai. We got to solve something because, yeah, we're a powerful nation. India's got like great talent. We got some great minds. So I'd say it's just solving problems with the tech we have.
So one important question that I have recently, the world leaders who are working on different industries, especially Elon Musk and Bill Gates, they had a meeting regarding AI recently, and Elon Musk expressed his opinion about how that is going to impact humans and how that is going to uh, uh, help or related things about AI. So, do you, as a service provider, as a person who is creating service using AI, what is your take on it?
Honestly, I don't have any kind of takeaway with it. I didn't even watch that World Economic Forum because, of course, there's Elon Musk and Bill Gates. They're far away from where we are at right now. They've done something. He's memeing on Twitter. They have the stage to do it, and I don't think I can sit here. I can just sit here and say, Elon Musk said that. Okay, then it might be this. I mean, I think it's just waste of time for me to say it because we're at a small scale. If you actually look, we're at a small, very, very small scale. The amount of wealth that guy has is a lot more, it's unimaginable. So there's no way, I mean, I can comment, I can say something about it, but would it matter? So the only thing that really matters to me is just go build something, man. Try to solve a problem. That's all. Yeah, I know
So,
that's not the answer you were looking for, but it's my honest answer, Sai. That's all.
yeah, yeah, that's fine. So, what do you want to say anything to my audience who are listening to this from anywhere on this world?
Yeah, I'd say um, just it's happening, guys. The future is here. That's it. The future is here. And if you also want to check out ARTIFIN for sure, you can definitely do it. And we're also going to launch a beta stage where we'll be getting a lot of feedback. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're just starting off. It's a little self-funded. We're still finding the product market fit. We got some validation, but we're not perfect yet. So would love to have your views, would love to have your take, would love to have your pointers, whatever it is. I'd love to take it. I'd love to understand it, and it'll give me a new perspective. And one thing to your audience specifically is, if you're watching Sai's content, that basically means you guys are learning something. So just keep at it, guys. Just keep at it. It shouldn't matter to you, like, కొంచెం మూవీస్ తగ్గించండి, కొంచెం పాలిటిక్స్ అవన్నీ కూడా తగ్గించి టెక్ గురించి స్టార్ట్అప్ ఎలా చేయాలో అర్థం చేసుకోండి. బికాస్ జాబ్లు అందరు చేస్తారు, జాబ్ ప్రొవైడర్స్ చాలా తక్కువ మంది. సో బికమ్ అ జాబ్ ప్రొవైడర్, అంతే.
So, at last, I want your observation as a person who created something from nothing and making things possible with your own thoughts. So, what is your observation about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I have watched a couple of videos of yours. I haven't watched the whole video. I just watched a video where you're talking to an author. Your questions were a little good. Hairstyle, I didn't like the hairstyle, but now it's, I think, much better. And I'd say just keep at it, man. Just keep at it. One thing I want to tell you, Sai, is do not stop. Whatever happens, find the next guest, the next guest, the next guest, the next guest. Hyderabad needs people like you. Mana Telugu వాళ్ళకి నీలాంటి వాళ్ళు అవసరం. జబర్దస్త్ ఇవన్నీ చాలా మంది చూస్తారు. ఓకే, పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేసేవారు ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు నువ్వే చెప్పు సాయి. రైట్? సో బికమ్ అ జాబ్ క్రియేటర్, అండ్ ఐమ్ టెలింగ్ యూ, the more you do this, people will come to you. People will want to come to your podcast, and you can monetize this. I say there's one guy also, like Vamsi, I guess. That guy is like doing really good. He's popular like T-Hub VP or something. You should do it, man. I'd say, become more confident and then just start doing in-person meetups as well. Start building a community for yourself. And once you have the user base, you'll be valued a lot more because nuvemanna kuda they listen to you, right? That's when you get leverage. So users give you leverage, and do not stop, man. Whatever happens, do not stop. Dusku tempo. Simple.